Hello, everyone. How you doing? I'm Colin.
And I am Liberty. Already starting off with the charisma right
Oh
off.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then welcome to the first episode of the Writing with Dice podcast, the podcast where every week we write the outline to a brand new original movie. We're using our not patented, dice game.
Yes, and of course these ideas are ours. So if you want to make $1 billion off of our great movie writing idea, you got to throw a little cash our way.
Yeah, a little cash out. We got to make our money off it. Off it. Okay, so to explain how things are going to go, I'm going to show you first our dice game. Not that.
That's a dice.
Not that. Turn that. There we go. This is our dice game. Basically, what we did was we set up an almost Dungeons and Dragons-like game in which we have instructions that will have us decide the genre and the setting and the character traits of some of the main characters, the motivations, and a whole whack of wild cards. These wild cards go all over the place. They go anything from the names of the characters, adding secondary characters, adding random things to the scripts. We have some that say chat decides. You'll notice a command that says chat decides. If we ever roll something that says chat decides, we need you guys to be quick. Because the first person to use the chat decides command after we roll a chat decides, you guys get to add something to the script.
Yep. You guys get to absolutely fuck up whatever one you want. Like I noticed we have add blank to the script up at I think it's 8.
Yes.
And it's like wizards, ninjas, zombies, like stuff that would really like we're writing like a political thriller and then you throw zombies into it, like it's gonna be absolutely stupid. But of course, chat decides at the bottom, and it's literally the first word that somebody says, and we got to put it in the script. We got to try and write it into the movie, and that's kind of the whole point of this. They aren't going to be the greatest stories ever written, but they're going to be different to some extent. So, it's really we're going to get you guys involved as best we can, but along the way, we're kind of just going to be telling a story, getting your guys' input, and trying to make something funny with it.
Yes.
Or serious, maybe. Who knows?
Yes, and for the record, neither of us are professional screenwriters. We both like to write for fun. We both like to we both wrote short films in college, and and we enjoy kind of putting story ideas down. But we are not by any means professional screenwriters.
No. Colin a little bit more than me. He's a little bit more into screenwriting, but me personally coming on, I remember this is like an idea we had back like 2 years ago. I think we kind of tried it out in like a recorded format. We did like it, but never really got to move it forward. But I remember we both kind of brought something different to it. I think that I kind of had a little bit more of the visual feel of how I would like more on the describing looks and stuff. Colin would help keep it grounded with actually knowing.
Actually knowing like the way stories, because movie scripts actually have a certain formatting and certain ways that they need to flow from one scene to another, and the way they need to have the overarching story formed. So I tried to keep us into that, and then Liberty was here to kind of fuck it up and keep me on my toes.
I'm the Kevin whatever from Marvel. We're making a whole cinematic universe, like guaranteed.
And I'm just here like, okay, can we just like make one movie? Please, just make this one movie good. Just please once.
We got to do X-Men first, and then we can do Wolverine in it. No, Wolverine's going in this movie.
Okay, so the first so I think we should just get started. The first of it is that we got to roll a d6, and this is going to decide if we decide our genre now, or if we have to write basically a lot of it and then do the genre at the end. So we could end up having to write a whole story here, thinking it's some kind of thriller action story, and then it's like, nope, it's a comedy. We have to make this funny, or we have to, and it's going to completely, it's going to fuck with us somehow. So, first thing to do, roll a d6. And yes, we don't have actual die right now, so it's just.
I got some die, but I mean, I don't have really a camera on it.
Yeah, we don't have a way to make this look very professional right now. So
I got
first
my
roll,
D&D gear.
First roll, a 2. What do we got for the 2?
2. If even, complete step 2 now. Okay, we do get to have it.
we get the genre. We at least get a genre.
All right, so we're going to D12 now. So we're going to see.
First, we got to roll a D6. If it's even, then we roll 1, and if it's odd, then we got to roll 2. So we got to roll 2, and we might have to end up combining genres here. What do we get? Another 2.
Let's go. 2 genres, baby.
1 genre.
Oh, damn it.
One. Yeah,
No,
we're not
wait.
combining,
Oh, yeah, it
not
is
combining
even.
just yet. So even one roll 1d12 with genre. Okay, what do we get for our genre? 1d12. It is 1. We are
A
making.
comedy.
We're making a comedy. Okay.
Okay,
Uh, it-
that's
it-
pretty easy. I can rock with that.
yeah, absolutely. We can make a comedy. We can make something kind of funny.
I think that right now, like, well, we don't have to decide right now, but we gotta think. Are we going the Sandler route, or are we gonna go the oh,
Edgar
what is
Wright.
his name? Yes, he's like my
Edgar.
favorite director.
I was gonna say, I was like, if he means Edgar Wright and he forgot Edgar Wright's name, I'm gonna be very, very mad right now.
So this is about to be a really clever movie with lots of niche jokes and stuff, or it's gonna be Jack and Jill too. So
Yes. In the
we
first.
gotta, like, just-
First thing we need for the story, we need to decide the character. So for the next, gotta roll a d6, and then step forward, will apply to the protagonist, but if it's odd, then we gotta decide the antagonist, because the stories kind of need the protagonist and the antagonist to be kind of opposite each other. So we're having one be decided for us, and then we're doing the
Yes.
second one. We kind of mold it how we want. So we gotta roll a d6 if it applies to the rolling it, and it's odd. So that
odd.
means,
So I believe if odd, step 4 applies to the antagonist.
yes.
So we are going to make our antagonist of our comedy film. As everyone knows, the best big bads are always in comedy films.
Yeah, exactly. Like Adam Sandler in every movie he makes, he's basically the villain, right? The
Yeah,
very most
he's the
memorable
villain for,
characters in every comedy.
He's a villain to have created those movies. That's what makes him the true antagonist of the film.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so
All right.
we got to roll the d12, roll 2d12s for positive first. So what are the positive character traits of our antagonist? First, 5. What's 5?
Spiritual.
Okay, so our
Spiritual.
our villain is a very spiritual person. Very spiritual. They're very in touch with their inner religion. They're very in tune with their chakras and the moon's alignment and all that
Exactly.
astrology bullshit.
Their chi is lined up.
Absolutely.
I think immediately when I think spiritual, and you think like a comedy film, is that you got to go a little bit outlandish. You could maybe go like like yoga instructor is usually like an easy thing to joke about, like a super that dumb little like I'm in tune with my chakras thing, but then they're actually not so great of a person. Go a little bit down that road.
That's really good. There is also the slightly more serious route of they're a cult leader. Not sure how well that works for a comedy, but they could be a cult leader.
But that sounds a cult leader sounds like a Wes Anderson-esque comedy, though.
Yeah, actually, that could
Like
work
a-
if they have like this big wacky following of people who just like follow him for follow them for no reason.
And
Absolutely.
he's like super quirky, like all the time.
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm already digging our antagonist
Okay.
character.
All right. Cult leader better than yoga. That's a great
The
point.
leader or okay, and our second positive character trait, 8. What is 8?
8. Second positive is funny. Well,
They're
that
funny.
lines up.
Okay, so they're spiritual and they're charming. So that kind of works or they're fun. They're funny. Spiritual,
but
funny.
that still works with like a I think the idea of like a charismatic kind of goofy funny dude, but he also is leading a cult.
Yeah.
That lines up as something that would be interesting to me. And then just the idea of a cult is a really easy it's like a really easy antagonistic trait to have because bad cults are bad.
Exactly.
That's just kind of an easy vibe.
Exactly, and it would kind of have like a persistent drive for our protagonist to have to fight against. It's one consistent thing of like, the cult's ruining my life this way. The cult's ruining my life this way.
Exactly.
They can just come back again and again, and that works. So now we need our positive character traits, or no, negative. We need the negative ones. So so what are the faults in our villain? They are 2. What's 2?
Cruel.
They're
Okay.
Ooh. Okay,
So he's funny, but he fucks people up.
yeah, he really fucks people up. This is kind of working really into the cult leader. Like I was expecting something to come a bit like made to challenge us with this, but it's just like fucking, this guy's gonna be a cult leader. He's very cruel, but and spiritual and funny. I'm into it. It me. Yeah, anchovy. It you.
It'd be me though. Alrighty, and our second negative character trait.
Second negative character trait rerun 7, which is
7. Deceptive again.
Ooh.
Perfect. lines up perfectly
Yes.
into building this character.
Yes, and
Because I thought like something like ugly or like like
Oh.
loner, it wouldn't have lined up with this. But going
Yes.
with deceptive perfectly lines up with that.
This cult leader is a fantastic player. This cult leader can really fuck up someone's day with just like the lies and mentally manipulating people. I'm into it. It works.
I'm into it too. We got something to find. All right. So what is the next step? We've got our antagonist kind of figured out, and we got a little bit of ways where he could be funny, create some opportunities for comedy. So next we need to mold our protagonist based off of the antagonist now.
Yes. So what would be some kind of antithesis to the antagonist who's funny and spiritual, but they're what were the funny and spiritual, but they're cruel and deceptive?
It might be good if we look at, because our next role is actually the protagonist motivation. So I think that it'd be easy we get the motivation of the protagonist. It would kind of define more. It would help us define better what his
okay. Yeah, I'm into that. I'm into that. Okay.
So,
so right now
one d20 for it.
One d20 for the motivation. All right. So let me get the right window up here. Get the right window up. Good God. All right. 1d20. It is 20.
20.
Oh, no.
Fear.
Fear.
He's motivated by fear.
Okay.
So immediately thinking about that, I can think of maybe somebody who's in the cult, who is starting to, like, the idea of somebody like raised by the cult. There's supposed to be all this good stuff, and he's just slowly like, yeah, this isn't so great. Like, there's something up here. Like,
yeah.
I gotta very much kind of Jojo Rabbit vibes, in my opinion. Like the idea of, like, not, again, that Jojo Rabbit is very specific to a situation, but the idea of being indoctrinated and raised into something that you thought was good, and then having to question that value system over actual morality, that could be an interesting route to go.
That would absolutely be. Also, it took me like multiple seconds to realize what you're talking about, because when you first said Jojo Rabbit, I was like, I thought of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That was like the one with the fucking really hot cartoon lady.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you just immediately thought cartoon boobs.
For some reason, I was like, oh wait, no, the Taika Waititi kid Nazi, that one. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so would our protagonist be in the cult, but also motivated by the fear of either leaving the cult or having the cult leave them, or motivated by the fear
by the cult, or
or what kind of effects the cult would have on maybe not just the protagonist, but the secondary characters, the people around them.
Yeah, exactly. His friends and family and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I think that's good. I think sticking with fear is kind of interesting.
Yes.
It's less. I think it creates a little bit of niche and nuance to it. It's not as to the face with like, hey, cults are bad. The idea of them fearing the cult makes it a little bit, because I mean, it's easy just to do an outside perspective, has like a friend in it and they want to get him out, like easy,
Yeah.
But to truly fear it is something else that's gonna affect him.
Yeah, and we'll need to be giving a genuine reason for them to fear. Like, we'll need to end up showing the cult doing some kind of fucked up shit, because it's like, oh, this cult could be doing something bad. Is different from, I watched the cult leader murder 3 people. This is really bad. I don't want him to murder you.
Like, this is weird. He shouldn't be doing that.
He shouldn't be murdering. He should be led. Like, good cult should have less murder
vibes too. Like a little bit of that. Like, oh, this is kind of fun and normal. Oh wait, people are sacrificing themselves.
I didn't actually see Midsummer, so I don't.
No.
No. You give me the Cliff Notes version.
Cliff Notes version. The a group of friends goes away on vacation to Sweden, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know if that's actually right or not, but they go there for some spring festival that they do, and then there's a couple members of the group that are doing shit against like that, like the one dude took a piss on like the ritual tree or whatever, so he ends up getting sacrificed. It's like they go there for a fun spring vacation, and then they just start getting sacrificed in broad daylight, and it's like clearly a cult thing.
Oh,
and it's kind of fucked up. It's like interesting though. Like it's a weird watch. One of the things that it's pointed out for why it's interesting is that it like actually puts its horror on display in broad daylight instead of like using dark and shadow. It's just like,
that was the selling point that was given to me. It was like, it's a horror movie, but instead of everything dark, everything's light. And I was like, is that good? I'm curious.
It kind of makes it worse.
To watch it. Really,
you can see everything better.
Oh,
it's kind of a little fucked up.
Like all the gore and that's bad. Okay, so I think we need to go. We need to decide about the positive character traits. So, do we want our protagonist to be something that's something that's the complete antithesis of our protagonist, or do we want our protagonist to be something similar to the antagonist, but is just different enough to make it interesting? Kind of the whole Marvel villain, I'm you but bad type thing, you know?
I think that we need to make it. I think that we need to make it different in the fact that I think the idea of somebody in the cult would make them less of a leader, less of like these are traits maybe they need to develop. I would think that they're an optimistic person. I like the idea of somebody who's like extremely positive, and it's like, I'm happy, like I live a good life, like the cult does good by me, all this stuff. We are murdering people though. That's a little weird.
Yeah, just a little murder, just some casual murder here and there, every once in a while, if we feel like it.
I wouldn't want like complete weakness in this character, but I think that somebody who's like positive and happy, but is like kind of complacent. But that complacentness needs to change.
That was the exact word that I was thinking about. It's complacent. That was the exact word I was thinking.
I think first one is optimistic. I think that I think two things you could be is optimistic and generous. Good dude who's really positive and he like wants to help people, but kind of paints a target on his back for being a little what's the word? Gullible.
Oh, gullible.
Easy to persuade almost. Like, but it's the whole idea for the protagonist is that these character values need to be questioned and changed, right? He needs to move past it. So, that's kind of my idea. A good person who wants to help people kind of gets taken advantage for it, though.
Okay, and that would really help with them being motivated by fear, because we would see them being a good person, so it's very realistic and understandable that they're afraid for the other people who are at risk here. And also to make them.
Sorry, what were you saying?
And just so we have more that's going against the antagonist. So the antagonist is funny and spiritual. What if we have the protagonist be kind of more serious and more down to earth, just to kind of like paint like them being two very different people? It's a very yin and yang type thing.
I would say maybe not serious per se, but almost like I would find that funny and spiritual. Funny also kind of ties into charismatic, because as a leader of a cult, charisma is a big thing for them. So maybe just like uncharismatic, like not great at like talking to people, kind of just tells like unfunny jokes and stuff. Like wants to be helpful, or wants to be charismatic, but really, tries but fails to be charming. Yes. Exactly. That's a great way to sum it up.
Okay, and
so I think that specific character trait maybe doesn't need to be one that's changed. Maybe going through the movie, that person is just never that charming.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a challenge if we try and ever come up with if we get to the point where we're trying to write dialogue of someone who's really just not charming, but they have to carry a movie because they are our protagonist.
Have to carry a comedic movie. What? Yeah. Think about Hot Fuzz. Character in Hot Fuzz. He's a very dry, serious person.
That is very
true.
He's
hilarious. But I mean, it's less about him just cracking jokes. It's more about the film setting up comedic jokes around him,
Yes.
And like on part with that, maybe we have to give him a character much like Nick Frost's character in Hot Fuzz. You need to give him the goofy sidekick, give them whatever. Could be a possibility. I don't know. We got to think about that moving forward. But let's look at some negative character traits that this character
yes. Negative character traits for our for our protagonist. Wait for it. Hold on. Just got to bring up the dice. Okay. So D20 or D12.
D12.
We got.
Well, we can decide these two, but I do like the idea of the negatives being a little bit.
We got
to work with them.
We got 2.
2. Cruel. I'm gonna cut that. I don't think our person also being cruel would line up with this story.
Probably not. Also, go ahead.
No, I was just saying we could just roll it again. But what were you gonna say?
We should probably limit the amount of times that we do that. So like we get
Just
a
cut it.
mulligan. Yeah, we should probably limit the amount of times we do that. So
Okay,
like, what are
we'll say 2 mulligans per script. I'm calling a mulligan there.
Okay, so that is one of our 2. We are not going to have our protagonist be cruel, just like our antagonist.
Yes.
Okay, we better use these wisely. Because remember, we still got the wild cards. We still got wild shit that we can probably end up adding. Okay, and we got 6.
6. Ugly. Okay, that adds up.
Our protagonist is ugly as fuck. They are really 1 out of 10. They're not. They're uncharismatic. They're trying to be charming, and they are not an unattractive person. Oh,
Someone said we should roll a die to see how many mulligans we get. That's actually a decent idea at Super Ribs.
That actually is a good idea. All right, the next mulligan we get, we'll roll, and then we'll find out how many more we have.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and our second.
Yes.
Our second negative character trait for our protagonist, 11.
Loner. All right, that adds up.
Yeah, loner. So we got ourselves a real unattractive loner of a person who tries to be charming.
This is the lead of our comedy club. Is an uncharismatic loner.
Why don't I just imagine our main character just being like a stereotypical Redditor, just like they're just like sitting on Reddit like, oh, why does no one like me? Hey, everything about going outside and talking to people? No.
So our protagonist is super like annoying and ugly and lame, and our antagonist is like this charming, funny guy, but also he's like murders people.
Yeah, we're gonna make the angry loner, fucking incel, mad at the world guy. He's our hero.
Dude, our oh my god, I have the perfect casting for our antagonist already.
Okay,
we'll touch casting, characters, names, all that at the end when we start into the story, but we kind of gotta get through here so we can get what our setting and wild cards would be.
Yeah. We
got the protagonist, antagonist, and motivation a little bit set. Maybe on why he's got beef with the cult, we got to figure out as the story progresses.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, we can move on to the setting, because we don't even know where this is at yet.
Yeah, that's true. We have zero idea where this is going to be. We got to roll.
Which, if this is in space, it just kind of sounds like a rogue youngling who's like, "Nah, these Jedi are fucking weird."
Yeah, that Anakin guy keeps looking over at us and giving us evil eyes. I don't know. He might do something weird one of these days, man.
I don't think he likes us. Alrighty, it's a D6 for setting.
D6 for setting. Okay, we got. I have too many windows open. D6 for setting. Roll a 5. What is it?
Small town. Small town adds up.
Okay, that works very well.
So I would easily say small town that's basically run by this cult. They got the police in their pocket. They got the, whoever the mayor of the small town's in their pocket. Maybe the guy is the mayor.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Like, what if the antagonist is the mayor of the town?
And he kind of, I like the idea of that. And I think just generally we could say like maybe American Midwest. I think that's kind of what.
Yeah, whenever
usually cult vibes are.
Yeah, a lot of cult vibes, and usually like when I think small town, and you see small towns in movies, they are typically like in Midwestern America or like upstate New York type thing. There's not really much.
Maybe Alberta.
Yeah,
Alberta's
just the middle of Alberta.
A decent choice for that.
Yeah, it actually is. Okay, so we have the setting. Okay, so now the dice where I was saying we got to define the protagonist, antagonist, and protagonist motivation specifically. Also, I wrote the protagonist, antagonist, and protagonist motivation. just fucked it up just a little bit there. Just fucked it up a little.
I think that we kind of got... Our antagonist is pretty set on who he is and what he wants, or who they are. I'm saying he because who I have casted for this is... I'll just reveal it. My perfect casting for this antagonist is Chris Evans. I think that Chris Evans would make a wonderful, funny cult leader who murders people.
Chris Evans.
I like the idea of like it being somebody who is like loved by people and all. Like it's like he's like everybody loves him. He's like a hot dad, but we're putting him in as the charismatic dude who murders people. So I think it's a great role.
Yeah. Did you see Knives Out?
I did, and that's why.
Yep. He plays the asshole trust fund douchebag son, and he does a very good job of it. Chris Evans, very likable dude. He can play an asshole very well. So I'm absolutely down to cast him as the cult leader, mayor of our small town, being very cruel. Okay, did you have any ideas for the protagonist?
I actually didn't. I was kind of left that open. I don't really know. I don't like picking any actor as like who I'm gonna define as an ugly actor.
Yeah,
but it's more so. Mean. I think ugly more applies to their personality and who they are as a character.
Yeah.
So it'd be more who I think I could do that well. Kind of like that loner vibe too.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing too, is that loner vibe.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be funny too. It's a comedy.
That's
so
true.
Like,
shit, that is very true. I keep thinking
I was
about
thinking like maybe like Joaquin Phoenix, but Joaquin Phoenix I don't think would do it in a very comedic way.
It's a Joker sequel. The Joker tries to get away from the city.
Exactly.
Goes to the small town, gets caught up in the cult. It's like,
yeah, the Joker ends up being one of the people in the cult.
he ends up leading the cult. He moves back to Gotham. But yes. So the ugly loner. Okay, so the goal is basically for them to stop the cult led by the antagonist.
Yes.
What is the actual motivations to leading a cult? Like, what leads to someone doing that? Because I keep reading stories, but I feel like I've never heard any specifically like, oh, I wanted to start a cult to do this.
I mean, it's like it comes from like narcissism and like desire for power, and it's more the ability of being in control of people and getting people to do what their will. Power, ego, yes, exactly. So, I don't know. I think it would be kind of a funny motivation if this character was just a psychopath who was just bored. He was like, he was just like, I don't know. I was kind of running out of stuff to do, so I just decided to start a cult. He's like, I ended up being pretty good at it, so I kind of just,
Yeah, I'm super rich. I got on the board with the usual shit, skydiving, buying all these cars, and it doesn't do shit. So we started hunting people for sport. That's pretty fun. The game keeps like
that was fun. I moved past that, though. Actually, my one friend, Reggie, he started a cult over in up in Alberta, so I thought that maybe I'll take that on, too.
Reggie in Alberta with the cult. Is that a reference to something, or is that just...
No, I just think it'd be funny if it was like just like a rich person thing to do was to start a cult because you're bored.
Okay, so goal, overcome his boredom.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I think one of my favorite characters from comics is this character named Nemesis, who is a super fucked up villain who does a ton of fucked up shit to this one cop, and it's like his arch nemesis, all this shit. And then it's revealed that the reason he did it was because the cop put away his dad and all this stuff. But then later, it's truly revealed that he just did it because he was a rich guy who was bored. He was like, I didn't have anything to do. So nice. I just became a supervillain.
Yeah, okay. I have something kind of branching off that. Like if our cult leader, the antagonist, is bored, what if he gets enjoyment out of completely trolling the protagonist? Like just fucking with him. He realizes that the protagonist is like trying to be like trying to be charming, and then he just like completely just starts fucking with his life. Like he just like hires people to like beat him up here, or like take his girlfriend from him. Just like do the weirdest shit to fuck with his life. He like buys the protagonist has a job. He just oh fuck. You can make it kind of funny. It's just like, oh fuck, the villain guy, fucking the mayor hired a bunch of goons to beat the shit out of me again. Fucking guy. What if he like?
I like the idea. What if it was like the same thing, but the protagonist never knew that the antagonist knew he was like starting the rebellion or whatever, but the antagonist was like. He's like, honestly, it was like, I had a lot of fun with it. He's like, no one started a rebellion against me. I didn't know what to do. It was fun. Like, like just like a dude who's kind of like playing a role. Meanwhile, this one character is like, my entire life has been worshiping you and you're goofing around with me. And he's like, oh yeah, something fun to do. Yeah. Like very, but at the same time, like this character, it's like the main antagonist is like murdering people. Like life doesn't, he's a psychopath. Life has little value to him, so much so that murdering people for a cult for whatever reasons is just kind of like funny to him, or he's bored, or he gets whatever out of it. Just like this complete lack of apathy at all. This man who just has no regard for human emotions.
I'm very into that. The idea that the protagonist maybe is part of the cult, and then the Act 1 twist that like starts off the story, the inciting incident, is him finding out that the antagonist is just bored. He just made up a whole like religion, a whole thing, just out of complete boredom.
What if it was that was actually the end reveal though? That's how I saw it. As the end reveal was, it wasn't this grand thing. It was like no. So like this protagonist goes on this grand journey of wanting to stop the cult, do whatever he like. It's big for him to be against this cult. Where in actuality, it's like you're not going against a greater, stronger being at all. You're going against a rich dude who was bored. And it kind of like even furthers the protagonist's motivation of like, are you kidding me? You don't give a shit about any of this? All of the people I've seen die? It's kind of, that does have a little bit of that Hot Fuzz vibe too. Because if you remember, Hot Fuzz was building up to a lot of stuff. And then at the very end, it just reveals they were just trying to like, they
were trying to win Village of the Year.
Ugly, so they blew it up, like shit like that. But I like the idea of it being like an absolutely mundane reveal, but again, it furthers the protagonist's motivation because he's like, the fact that you don't care is what makes me feel so makes me hate you so strongly.
I'm into that. I'm very into that. So that'll be our final plot twist.
I think the hook needs to be whatever drives him away from the cult, though. Is that first whatever escalates the events, which into him starting a rebellion or going against them. He needs to like see somebody close to him die or somebody,
okay,
whatever. You could even do even more maniacally that the cult leader killed one of his friends or whatever because he wanted him to be like the good guy. Like the cult leader wanted to have like, he's like, I wanted someone to be like a hero again.
So it's like the Joker creating Batman or something. He just he's making something for him to fuck with. He's making him in a weird way a friend. He's making a friend for him to play with.
Exactly. It could be like that. That's interesting. That's just a thought. Or I like the idea of rather this kid doing it or this person doing it on their own. So then the leader's like, damn, that's kind of cool. Like, I respect that. Or it could be like, no, I like wanted you to do it because I was bored. I think that I just don't want to demerit the values of the protagonist by being like, oh yeah, you got created.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I don't know.
That's true. It does always help to have the protagonist be created and go through the story of their own volition. And when things just kind of that's why whenever I watch a movie, if I ever hear the word like the prophecy, I'd kind of check out to a degree because it's like, oh, it was prophesized. The main character doesn't need to do this. They don't need. They aren't trying. The motivation isn't being created in them.
Mm-hmm.
So I always kind of check out there. So we don't want to lose that aspect to it.
Okay, yeah, I can see what you're saying. So I think it'd be interesting if, like, maybe halfway through the movie, when more shit starts going down, getting serious with the protagonist, it's less about the antagonist creating him. It's more like the antagonist being like, "Oh, dude, I got like a nemesis now. I got a
oh my god, I have a nemesis.
This is cool.
I have an arch rival. Let's go."
Yeah.
All
so
right.
It could be like the inciting incident. Like he's like, "Nah," he's like, "I never would have expected you to do this." Like he's like, "I'm actually impressed that you were the one that came and did this shit out of anybody." But maybe after the inciting incident, he still the antagonist kind of follows it up by throwing some more at him, making it a little bit more visceral.
Okay, I'm into that. Okay, I think it's about time that we fuck with this a little bit and we do a wild card.
We got 3 wild cards to do.
Yes, so let's do the first one.
All right.
The first D20. Let's see how fucked we get here. Because there's a lot that could be done here. In the first D20, and keep in mind, if we end up rolling 3 D20s in a row for the wild cards, we're fucked. Because the last D20, because 20 on D20 is roll 1 D20. If 1 to 17, pick your own wild card. If it's 17 or 18, Chad decides. If it's 20, roll again. So, and then if 1 to 5, pick your own wild card, Chat decides. Or if 20, delete the outline we've completed so far and start again. So if we roll 3 D20s in a row, we have to start over.
We have to nuke the entire thing.
Basically, we have to nuke the entire thing and start over. So let's see what we roll here. Shit. The first one is 12.
12. Go to
12
randomlist.com and
Sorry.
rip off blatantly or subtly one of the first movies that comes up.
Okay, I already got this loaded up. Hold on, I am going to.
Dude.
Okay, the ones that are
So we
up
have
here
the
are.
story, and we gotta rip off like the setting and placement and shit of it.
The setting and placement, or the main character, or something about one of the first movies. So it's gonna come with 4 movies. These are not the 4 movies, and we're gonna rerun it. So hold on, roll movies. 4. Okay, the movies are The Rental. I haven't seen it. Avengers Infinity War. Shit. And Shadow in the Cloud and Paranormal Activity in the Mark ones. I've only seen Infinity War. Shit. We have to rip off
Infinity War?
We have to rip off Infinity War somehow. How are we gonna... Okay, we have our, like, small town cult comedy, and we have to rip off Infinity War. Okay.
What even happens in Infinity War that we can rip off for this?
I don't...
Infinity War is the most epic movie, like, ever.
Okay.
We have a grounded...
I actually have an idea about this. Infinity War, screenwriting very basics for the audience. Screenwriting very basic for the audience. Every movie you've ever seen is some variation of what's called the hero story. It's the beginning, middle, and end, inciting incident, going through a character arc with a peak in the middle, and then another peak at the climax about how the character learns and goes through the story. Infinity War is actually an interesting choice because what it does is it does the hero's journey for the villain. Because it follows a very basic structure of, like, trying to find something, making your goals clear, moving through and having obstacles and, like, struggling through those obstacles. It does that for Thanos. It's basically a Thanos movie. So
are you thinking about flipping the script and making a movie about
our antagonist? Basically, we made our Chris Evans mayor cult leader. Fucking, he's the main character now. Like it's following, like he's the antagonist is our main character now, and I actually kind of like that. It doesn't.
That's better
work.
than my idea. My idea was that we make the antagonist motivation to collect 6 stones. Just make him
They're not even like super powerful stones. They're just like 6 gems hidden around the town.
They're just cool. I want them.
Well, okay, we can do both.
I like the idea of flipping the script.
I think
that we have to change the motivations of the story a bit more.
The 6 stones, the 6 gems, they're hidden around the town. He has to go and like dig them up, and like, one's hidden in the fucking museum. Gotta go pull a heist. One's hidden. I gotta go fucking kill my daughter for one of them for some fucking reason. He's gotta
like fight like the rebellion to get the time stone or the green gem. So it's a cult comedy about the antagonist who's trying to get gems for no reason. Because again, he is bored.
Yeah.
So does that mean that the leader of the rebellion is a really like? Okay, but now I picture, like, since they're not a major character, like they are a major character, but not like they're more of the antagonist. Not like, like it just reminds me of somebody being like talking like Morty leading a rebellion, just like, hey man, we gotta stop this rebellion. We've all teamed up against you now, so you can't take all the gems.
It's like, fuck off, please, sir. I'm into that. Like that would make sense,
dude. And he has like a bracelet or something he wants to put the gems on just because he wants to look cool. Like he's like,
he had a custom bracelet made.
I need the fully customized ice.
You gotta have that drip.
Oh god. So our entire story is blown up now.
Kind of, yeah. I think it adds more to it. Our final plot twist doesn't quite work, but all right. I'm thinking Jay.
Yeah, I feel like the characters stay the same. I think that his
I'm sorry, I'm looking at Super Ribs' last comment. I'm thinking Jay and Silent Bob now. He has to find 6 stoners. They're not stones, they're stoners. Infinity Stone. He has to go and find 6 stoners.
Oh, all right. So our antagonist motivation of being bored is now changed to he needs the 6 special gems for his cool bracelet.
6 special gems for his first. I'm into that. I'm very into that.
And he created a whole ass cult just so he could get access to this town stuff.
No, I think that would be maybe an extension of his boredom. Like, he's fucking bored, and now he's realized, like, yo, our town has 6 priceless fucking gems. I just want to steal them.
Oh,
I'm just gonna fucking take them.
Can part of the good guys arc be that they're putting together the town's Avengers, but they're like the fucking most. It's like, we got to get the museum curator. He knows everything. He's just like a dude who knows kind of facts about the town.
He's just like, okay, and the protagonist is just like, so he's a bit of a loner, so he can't have actually done it. But he's like fucking LARPer. He's he just wants to like LARP with everyone, but he's super uncharismatic and trying to do it. But everyone around him is agreeing to go along with it because they're like, "Fuck, fine, we gotta stop the cult leader, I guess."
Yeah, the cult leader just started stealing shit.
Okay, so man, here's your costume. Why do I need a costume? So I can wear it, please.
Oh my god, there needs to be a final battle between like all the LARPing guys versus the cult leader.
and the leader's gonna win because again we have to rip off Infinity War, so the leader's just gonna like kick their ass because he's just like, what the fuck are you all doing? We got the fucking museum curator who's like an 80-year-old woman. We got some like fat LARPing guy. We got fucking like half the retirement village out, and so the Wakandans coming to fight as a retirement home.
I would kind of love to if like he was a cult that kind of leads over the town. But it's been like a little bit, so no one really believes in the cult. But like we almost nerf the cult, so it's just a dude who's just trying to get gems. And everyone's like, I mean, we can take down the cult leader. He doesn't really do much.
He's actually not a bad mayor when you think about it. I mean, like he fixed a lot of the potholes. The budget.
He sacrificed my dog. That's like the protagonist.
Yeah,
He's like, yeah, that was a little fucked up, wasn't it? Okay, I'll team up with you.
Okay, I'm into that. Overcome his boredom. So the antagonist's goal to overcome boredom decided to pull heists and get these 6. What do we got to call these things? The stones? What are we going to call them?
The Eternity Gems. Is that too on the nose?
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm into it. A little bit. Steal the town's Eternity Gems. God fucking damn it.
He needs to say like Thanos-ass quotes sometimes too.
Reality is often disappointing.
Like, but just to the protagonist, like to everybody else is like, it's like, yeah, whatever.
Right,
like, and most people in the town don't put up a fight with telling him where the gems are because they're useless rocks.
yeah, it's literally just like some ruby that the dude dug up. It's not even like a good ruby. He just dug it up.
All right, I think that's enough. Ready to move on to the
next wild card.
The next wild card. How are we gonna fuck this shit up more?
All right, how are we gonna fuck this shit up more? Hold on, bring up the D20. All right, the next one is 6.
6. Over the top plot twist. All right,
Ooh.
so is the over the top plot twist that the gems actually mean something?
They actually are the Infinity Stones. They actually are. He was the last one into the bracelet. Like, oh, what the fuck? And then he turns into Thanos. For no reason, he just turns into Thanos. Oh no!
Oh my god! And it's like the small town has to fight Thanos.
Yeah,
oh
bunch of LARPers. So LARPers, they're gonna take like plastic swords, and then he wins. He beats them.
All right, I got something that it's less in the Thanos realm, but it's still really stupid, and like is it completely goes in a complete different direction.
I'm into it. Let's hear it.
So you think the gems are useless stones. Everyone says they are, but the protagonist wants them. And the one dude's like, I gotta stop him because he's leading a cult. But also, like, I think that the good guy is like, I think maybe we go away from like the cult thing a little bit and just do like an asshole mayor. Like a dude who's the mayor of a town is just a dick. Nobody really likes him that much, but I mean, he doesn't really cause problems. But this mayor would ever hit like the protagonist's dog with a car or something. So then the protagonist is like, I need to stop this guy. I need to take down this fucker. But nobody's like agreeing with him. But then when people do eventually agree with him, actually, I would love if he tried to put a team together and it just failed. And when they finally got like the team together, everyone just went home because they're like, this is stupid. We're not fighting the mayor. Over the top twist though, is that the gemstones are actually belong to the great ancient mage Merlin, and it turns the mayor into a master wizard. But it's also revealed that the loner shithead protagonist is a great descendant of King Arthur and finds Excalibur in like somewhere, and then they have an amazingly crazy magic versus sword duel at the very end that makes no sense, and it becomes so epic for like 20 minutes.
I absolutely love it. I actually think that's brilliant, man. That's fucking perfect.
I was like, perfect. I just love the idea of completely ripping off Infinity War, and then at the very end making it about King Arthurian magic for some reason. And everyone's like, what the fuck is this twist? Why is King Arthur and Merlin in this shit?
Oh yeah, this is kind of going off on a tangent here. Oh my god, I forget the name of the movie. Zombie movie, Bill Murray and Adam Driver.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what its name is.
Oh my god, okay. Zombie movie, Bill Murray, Adam Driver. The Dead Don't Die. The Dead Don't Die. Okay, I'm gonna spoil the movie The Dead Don't Die for whoever hasn't seen it. Have you seen it?
I haven't, but that's fine. You can
spoil it. Okay, The Dead Don't Die. It ends with It sounds like something we would write. So at a couple points in the movie, Adam Driver and Bill Murray kind of break character, and they're like, "Wait, did you improv? Was that in the script, or did you improv that line?" And he's like, "Oh, I improv that. Oh, okay." And then they just like start talking again, like as if nothing was wrong. And then like at the very end of near the very end of the movie, they're like, "So you get what do you think of the revisions of the script that the director sent out this morning?" "I didn't get any revisions this morning. He just kind of sent me out here. I didn't even know for sure we were shooting today." And they just started having this conversation about like, "Dude, the director's been a fucking dick to me this whole movie." And it's kind of fucking like, and then you hear a voice from behind the camera like, "Can we get back on the script?" And he's like, "No, shut up." And they just like keep talking. And they're like, "I don't even know what's in the script anymore." And then there's this character played by Tilda Swinton who's just like weird for the sake of weird. She has like I think she has like long white dreadlocks, and she has a samurai sword. And she's been just like mowing down zombies with a samurai sword for no reason the entire movie. And then she walks out into the middle of a field in front of these two guys, the two cops, and then a UFO comes out of the sky, picks her up, abducts her. She's like, "Oh, back to my people," back to the UFO, and the UFO flies away, and they just look up at the sky like, "That definitely wasn't in the fucking script." So it's like we're revealing it's a movie within a movie of two actors in a zombie movie who are watching all this shit happen that's not in the script. It's like. So like it's a weird and that just reminded me of it somehow. Just like it's kind of like this weird like lowbrow comedy, and then all of a sudden it just like goes completely off the rails plot twist of like, no, it's King Arthur and Merlin's descendants fighting against each other. It's like wait, what? It sounds like something that would be like an Adam Sandler movie.
I love that, and I think that we got to end on like an over the top cliffhanger. Like where it's like we will return or whatever at the end. It's like
really?
What?
They're gonna okay. Merlin.
So that is it's ancient magic that. Oh my god! Remember what this started out as?
This started off. It was like a basic little like comedy, and then it turned into a cult comedy, and now it's turning into the Eternity Gems and Infinity War ripoff.
Yes.
Okay. One thing we should probably do now that I should probably add a step to into the instructions. We should name our characters.
Oh, okay.
So what should the antagonist be? He's got to be the asshole mayor of a small town. So he needs like a villain-ish name. For some reason, I just wanted his last name to be Viper. No reason.
Viper?
Something Viper. It's like Daryl Viper or something. I don't know.
Viper.
Something just like over the top evil. He's like, dude, our mayor's name is fucking Mr. Viper.
Mayor Viper.
Mayor. I don't know, something like that. It doesn't have to be Viper, but something just like over the top, clearly evil. Like, that's the vibe we're going for. So
I like Viper. I think it should be Viper with a Y, and I think his first name should be Joe.
Joe Viper.
Joe Viper.
Joe Viper.
And all the time people refer to him as Mayor Viper, and he's just like, just call me Joe.
Just call me Joe.
Like, he's got a cool last name, but he never wants to be referred to it. He's just like, just call me Joe.
It's like that one guy from fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like his name is Jack Danger, but it's like, oh, it's pronounced Donger.
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 Yep.
It's like, why? Why do you do that? It's like Mayor Joe Viper, the asshole mayor of the small town. And he's got to get the Eternity Gems. He's super rich. Okay. Now, what about our protagonist? I feel like even though we have him described as ugly, I feel like we need to pick an actor just to kind of visualize someone in our mind.
What about Jesse Eisenberg?
Jesse Eisenberg.
Just to play like a wimpy, dorky dude who hates Chris Evans. Like, that's just hilarious.
I'm really into that. It would be a good opposite to the Chris Evans, who's going to be super handsome and funny and charming, than is like Jesse Eisenberg, who's going to be the asshole Jesse Eisenberg can always play. I'm into that.
Mm-hmm. But I love the idea of like these two having their own intense rivalry, starting fights. Meanwhile, the entire backdrop is a bunch of older people who are just done with their shit.
It's like a retirement heavy town.
Yeah, he's like, you've been complaining about this shit and trying to start a team for like fucking 2 years, and like, I can't do it. I'm 70. You need to leave me alone, dude.
You say you have no friends, and you spend all your time in a fucking retirement home. Man, why are you hanging out with me like this? Go away. I'm into that. Okay, so I feel like that could be that's a secondary character right there. He has an old man who just hates him. Who's like, go get some friends. Just on a protagonist. Oh, we still need to name our protagonist.
Gabe.
Gabe. Oh God. Yep. I feel Gabe. I apologize to any Gabes watching, but you know.
I don't know what his last name would be.
Yeah, Gabe McShitster.
McShitster. That's a little on the nose.
I just started speaking and was hoping something would come out my mouth, and that's what happened. Okay, nothing.
I just think. I don't know.
McShitster.
McShitster.
Vega. I just looked off screen. I saw the word Vega on the protein chick. Besides, I'm like Gabe Vega.
Wait, why don't we throw it out to anyone in the audience? If anyone has any great last names for Gabe to have, throw it in there. We'll probably put it in because it's hard to tell. But for now, I think we can move on to our last wild card before we gotta get into what the story is eventually.
Yes. Okay, so the last wild card. Hold on, got all the screens got to go on. Gonna turn Chrome on.
Game of Thrones. Got Gabe Johnson and Game of Thrones.
I actually like if his name is Game of Thrones, and we don't make a single other Game of Thrones reference the entire time.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, this movie's just gone at this point.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's every fucking movie we do is gonna be gone. Okay, D20 rolling. 16. What's 16? Oh no. Hold
up, I need to go over to what 16
What would Tarantino do? Quentin this bitch up.
Oh my god!
Okay,
we did Tarantino this movie too?
Yeah, of course we got a Tarantino this movie. Of course, like, it works. It works, right? I mean, like, it's a small town, it's a cult, there's a classic thing. Or it's not a cult anymore, he's just the mayor. At some point, he's going to start killing people.
I guess he needs to for the gems.
Yeah. Also, Tarantino puts violence kind of in some random scenes in his movies. For sometimes it just kind of comes out of nowhere. So what if that's the inciting incident? We use the Tarantino super messed up violence. Wrong thing. Hold on. Right thing.
How is this mayor spiritual? That's a great question.
Oh shit, Anjo, you're right. You're right. We need to have him be. He does yoga.
But like there needs to be something spiritual. We can maybe do it with the whole magic thing.
Okay, yeah, maybe he's the one who actually believes it. He's like the whole movie we frame it as the mayor's fucking lost his mind. He thinks there's these magic stones around town, and if he gets them, he's gonna turn into a wizard or some shit. Oh fuck, it's right, and then
yeah,
the ending of the movie is oh shit, he was telling the truth. There's actually magic. Oh fuck. I'm into that.
I like that. So he's really into like the magic aspect, and like maybe like he's like really monologue-y about the stones. Like this is even more ripping off Thanos. Like he's very like, you know, this contains a power you'll never understand, one that's been in my bloodline for centuries. And it's always like people like, okay, man.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you're being weird about this, but sure, like you can have it. I don't care.
Okay, I'm into that. So he has. So if I have to pull up some heights to sell the guns, eternity gems. So, okay, I feel like we need to get more specific with the inciting incident, and I feel like that would be the scene that we need to Tarantino.
All right, I think that we can Tarantino up a couple of scenes.
Okay.
Big climax, stones don't do shit. We actually did have the big climax being that the stones don't do shit for a while, but one of our wild cards was to throw in a real curveball twist. And the curveball twist is that the stones turn him into the ancient mage Merlin.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense, and nobody's ready for that in the movie, and nothing has ever alluded to it except for this one crazy mayor who's really tied to the stones. And everyone else is like, nah, this dude's weird. He's been weird. He's been like this for a while.
Yeah, okay, I'm into that.
So I think that we can actually start with the story. I think that into the inciting incident, I got an idea for it. For the inciting incident, my idea would be that he killed like this dude's, like the main dude's like grandpa or something, or like somebody close to him in a really brutal way for like the stones. But since it's like a small town that just doesn't believe in this shit, like nobody believes him when he's like, we need to do something about this guy, he's crazy. And it's like, nah, it's like your grandpa was in bad health, so it really could have been any time for him. And he's like, he had like multiple gunshot wounds.
What kind of late life illness causes someone's head to get blown off by a 12-gauge shotgun? Tell me.
Like,
I don't know. Alzheimer's can get pretty bad. What the fuck are you talking about?
So I think our setting is just a small town that doesn't give a shit. Two characters that give too much of a shit, and some unnecessary violence along the way. Completely unnecessary violence.
Okay, so Gabe of Thrones. That's what we're gonna name him, just because there's no, it was a good suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabe of Thrones is a loner. We know that he's not charming. So who would he have that's close to him? I feel like it's got to be a blood relation of some kind.
I think he's got to live with this grandpa who is an asshole to him. And, like, he loves his grandpa, but his grandpa's, like, a dick, and it's, like, not, like, a great relationship.
Yes. Okay. Grandpa in an unnecessarily violent and cruel way. Why does Viper murder his grandpa? Is the grandpa in the way of one of the stones?
Yeah, the grandpa has one of them.
Okay.
The grandpa's got the whatever one. Are they gonna have? No, I say we don't give them names. We just call them by their colors.
I was gonna go the opposite way. I was gonna say we named them. We absolutely named them. The fucking.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay.
Can they have really stupid names though? Like,
of course, we're writing a comedy with magic and shit. It's got to be a really stupid name.
So the antagonist calls it by like the fucking. The Death Stone or something like that. And he's just like, oh, you mean the Quarry Rock? And he's like, what? He's like, I found this yellow rock down by the quarry, so we call it the Quarry Rock.
You mean the Death Stone? Yeah, the Quarry Rock. All right, I'm into that. I mean, so that has to happen every single time, right?
Yes, every single character refers to it something really stupid, but it's actually got an epic name behind it.
Okay, so the Death Stone is the Quarry Rock.
I like Rose idea here of the grandpa stone being on the belt buckle that he beats the kid with.
The Death Stone. Okay, and that guess we gotta have something be super ironic. It's like the Love Stone or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's the Passion Stone, but then he's like, oh, my whipping rock. He's like, why do you want my whipping rock for? I use this for whipping. What are you talking about?
Passion Stone, the whipping rock. All right, I'm into that. The Passion Stone is the whipping rock. The fucking okay, death, passion, birth. I don't know, the birth stone.
The birth stone, sure.
We'll come up with the rest of them later. I think as we go along.
I got one. The Matter Stone.
Matter Stone. I'm into that.
The Matter Stone. We just got to do 6. We could even do 5 if we wanted to. We don't have to do a full 6, I think.
Yeah.
And then we just need one more.
Yeah, the Passion Stone, Bird Stone. That stone matters. Fuck. Okay. Birth, death, passion, matter. Fuck. What else could be like making up the universe?
I think it should be something like the last stone should be absolutely stupid.
Yeah, the dick stone.
We could do like the truth stone or something like that, maybe.
Truth stone. Oh yeah, that would be if we were going actually good with it. So I'm just gonna write it down just to have it. Shit, the truth stone. The potato stone. The food stone.
The potato. No, I like the potato stone. And just like this whole, there's this incredible monologue about how integral potatoes are to the strings of the universe and how potatoes tie everything together.
I'm into that.
Potatoes, we are nothing.
The potatoes were not created on Earth. They were handed to us by an alien species in order to guide us forward as a species.
Oh, you're talking about my tater gem. I got that thing on back. Can we please call the potato stone the tater gem?
The tater gem? Alright, I'm into that. The tater gem. The potato stone is the tater gem. I'm into it. So if I... okay. So I think we need to actually... So for the story, we have the inciting incident, and we have the final plot twist. I feel like we just need to come up with some secondary characters here. We need to come up with like the whole cast of people that Game of Thrones is gonna try to assemble together.
I think he's gonna assemble the Stone Keepers. And these stone. I don't think that one dude actually murders most of the Stone Keepers. I think that he Tarantino's the fuck out of his grandpa, and then it's pretty mundane until the very end fight. That's super crazy.
Yeah. So up until that point, it just feels like it's super out of place violence. Just out of nowhere. It's just like, oh, you're watching like a really basic comedy. Oh my god. Okay, we're just gonna move on from that like nothing happened? I'm into it.
So, first Stone Keeper is Myrtle, the museum clerk.
Myrtle the museum, I'm into it.
And Myrtle the museum clerk has she's got the Death Stone. They call it Rocky the Blue Rock, though. That's... Oh, no, wait. We'll do Burstone. Burstone's Rocky the Blue Rock because it's the town mascot because they found this cool blue rock in the town.
and it if you look at it from the right angle in the right light, it kind of looks like it has a smiley face on it, right? Right? Yeah, and then like everyone's
that's actually because somebody carved it into the... It says ancient gem, but a kid did carve a smiley face into the ancient gem, so that's why it's Rocky the Blue Rock.
I'm into it. They call it Rocky the Blue Rock. And so she's like, I feel like she would be like the Doctor Strange of this situation, because she actually has a stone on her most of the time, but at the very end she's going to end up giving it away to him, to Viper, for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Further adding to the ripping off thing.
I think that she would be very protective of Rocky because as like the museum clerk, she's got history with it. She doesn't want to give it up. But I'd love if she gave it up to what's his face for like a really stupid reason. Like he bought her like a Wendy's 4 for $4 and she's like, okay, sick.
it's like I promise I'll put a cappuccino machine in the town museum. Sold. Let's go. Let's fucking... Here you go. Take it. Fucking cappuccinos at work. Fucking right. I'm into it.
And she's very much like, Rocky's been with us for a while, and it means a lot to this town, and it means a lot to me. I don't think I'm ready I'll put a cappuccino machine in the museum. Yep. Go. I like the idea of him just being a mayor. Like, he's actually slowly improving the town, except for the brutal murder of this guy's grandfather.
Yeah, other than the murder, he's a really good mayor.
Yeah, but no one really seems that pissed about the murder. Like, people even know the murder happens, and they're just like...
Oh, shit. Yeah. It sucks to suck, I guess.
To be fair, your grandpa was kind of a dick.
Yeah. Like, remember, he was a substitute teacher for, like, 3 days, and the school never called him again. I never heard a reason why. It's just like, that makes you think, though, right?
Bad vibes, though. Could be something weird.
Bad vibes.
All right, so Myrtle is one of the Stone Keepers. We need some country ass name for the Tater Stone Keeper.
Cletus.
Yep.
Whenever I hear Cletus. Country, I just think Cletus. Cletus.
O'Brien.
O'Brien?
O'Brien. Cletus O'Brien.
Oh, okay.
The O'Brien family's been making taters for this town for 100 years.
Did you say O'Malley or O'Brien? Just
O'Brien.
O'Brien. Okay. I'm gonna add a Mick in there. It's O McBrien, just to make it super. Just to make it unnecessarily Irish. Cletus O McBrien.
Yep.
Town. What does he do for the town? Why is he involved? How does Gabe get involved with them?
Well, Cletus is the he cooks the taters for the town. He's been the big potato farmer for the town forever.
Okay.
Part of that being that this is actually alluding to the stones meaning something, being that he's always had good crops for 100 years because he has the tater stone.
I'm into that.
It's implying that the stones could mean something, but it's also the potato stone, so it's kind of...
All right. What if also, just to make it a little ironic, we make him... He's super hillbilly, super country, but he's also rich as fuck. So he's not like taking out...
Dude, he's a modern farmer. He's got money.
Oh yeah, that's true. Like, a lot of people don't know how fucking rich a lot of farmers are. Like, there's a fair number of millionaire farmers out there.
I feel like he's like an actual really responsible dude. He runs a tight ship. Like, he's got a good farm. He's got control of his money, all that stuff. But still kind of a goofball. Like,
yeah. Okay,
but he gives up the tater stone willingly because he doesn't actually think it does it. He thought it was like a family whatever thing.
Yeah, he just like had it just like sitting like on a cabinet in his house. Like, oh yeah, I think Grandpa found that out in the field one day and thought it looked kind of cool, so he kept it, and so we kept it, and now it's here. You want it?
What do you want it for? He's like, I'm assembling the gems so I can become a powerful mage. He's like, all right,
Mayor, I'm gonna take it. Kids don't talk to him very much.
You can have it. You're a weird dude, but you know, good man. You always help me out.
I'll admit I voted for the other guy, but you're all doing all right, I guess.
Doing all right.
You're all right, I guess.
All right, and then so that's 3. We need 2 more.
2 more.
I feel like one of them needs to be like kind of like the soul stone, where it's not actually a keeper; it's like hidden somewhere.
Yeah, and for some reason he has to sacrifice something close to him in a super dramatic way in order to get it.
I think that he follows like a path, like there's like a mystery path that's been led, like a treasure hunt led by like an old Girl Scouts treasure hunt that they had to do, and he finally like gets to the end and they're like, you must sacrifice something if you truly want this gem, and he's like, what, I need to sacrifice? And it's like a dude, and he's like, that watch. He's like, what? He's like, your really nice watch, you need to sacrifice it to me and then you can have the stone. He's like, you just want my watch and you'll give me the stone. He's like, yep. We gotta sacrifice it.
Just some like tweaking homeless dude, like, give me your watch, I'll give you the stone.
Exactly. Homeless Billy.
Homeless Bill. Okay, Homeless Billy, absolutely. Homeless Billy. Homeless man living in the woods. Gives up the... Which one's this? This is the Matter Stone? The Matter Stone.
Yeah, he's got the Matter Stone. He just calls the Matter Stone the Matter Stone. He like pretends like there's a reason, there's like an ancient thing behind it. But that's always been him just trying to get people's shit.
I feel like we would have to frame that conversation of Homeless Billy and them meeting, of like, it sounds like... Because at this point in the story, we don't know that it's all real. So this is one of the few times when Viper is actually talking to a person who also knows all the secrets. He also knows that it's always...
But it's completely broken by Homeless Billy saying, you can have it if you give me your watch. It's like, what?
Okay, I'm into that. I'm just into that.
But like he like monologues to him like he's the ancient stone keeper. He's very much like the Soul Stone vibe. He's like, you know, you must lose what you truly love in order to gain the power of the Magic Stone. Yeah. It's like, I'll do what I must, Billy.
Or what if Homeless Billy's like, you must lose something you love. Except I am doing really, really hard right now. I just lost my house. Can you give me your watch and maybe like $20? So he's just like, it's just like the fucking guy's desperate. He genuinely just needs some money. He's like, dude, are you okay? Billy, are you all right? You need a place to stay for a couple nights?
Is it going to be a nice he helps out Billy in the end?
Yeah. He just like doesn't really
Merlin and tries to like kill everyone, but that's fine. Evil Merlin, by the way.
who gives Viper the this is the Matter Stone.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we are lacking a little bit in Gabe. What are we going to have Gabe doing to try to stop them the entire time? Because he's got to be falling one step behind Viper as well. So I feel like we have some steps of like... Okay, so Viper murders Gabe's grandpa. What does Gabe do after that? He begins trying to assemble the Stonekeepers? So he would start with Myrtle, I guess?
I feel like he would also know about the stones, much like how Tony knew about the stones. In like Doctor Strange, like, but he is the only one that actually is like worried about him getting them. Everyone's like, "What the fuck are you talking? He's not gonna do anything with the stones. You're just mad that he killed your grandpa." He's like, "Yeah, I'm mad he killed my fucking grandpa. Of course I'm mad."
Okay.
But like, you can't have. It's like, it's almost less about him actually knowing the stones, like, more about him being pissed off and like, no, he's like, I'm gonna get the fucking stones then. Fuck you.
Okay, I'm into that. Okay, so I think the first thing that happens after the inciting incident, after the Gabe's grandpa's Tarantino murder.
He needs to get absolutely fucked up, but still be alive enough to tell Gabe about what happened and why he was after the stone or whatever. And then Gabe's like, the what? And he's like, he's going after the town stones. He's like, I have no idea what you're fucking talking about, Grandpa. And he's like, the stones that wield the power. And he's like, God. He's just like, my grandpa's so old and shit. Like, I understand you're dying. He's like, I'll get the fucking stones or whatever, though.
Gabe agrees to... Okay. So Viper murders Gabe's grandpa in an unnecessarily violent and cruel way in order to get the Passion Stone. In his dying moments, Grandpa explains to Gabe the power wielded by the Eternity Gems, and Gabe agrees to stop... confusedly agrees to stop Viper. To stop Viper. And starting this, he's the first guy... I feel like he first has to go to Myrtle, because she's the Doctor Strange character, so we have to have her come in here.
I think he gets Myrtle on his side, but I think Myrtle so easily turns when she gets the cappuccino maker promise to her.
Yes. Yeah, that would be a funny joke. It's like, you're my oldest ally! It's like, he can get me cappuccinos. What the fuck can you get me?
Yeah, I know. You and you really haven't done much. You're just kind of annoying in this town.
Reluctantly agrees to help him when she learns that Viper murdered his grandpa. Okay, I feel like we need to have a bit of an explanation of like why he would be able to get away with the murder. So I feel like we need to add a sheriff character. Like the town sheriff or whatever, who would just not give a shit. Who would be like a sidekick to the mayor.
I like the idea of a town sheriff stumbling upon this incredibly violent murder scene and being like, well, he didn't have much time left in him, did he? And you're like, what? He's like, looks like it might have been a heart attack. And it's like, and it's just like an old dude who's been there for too long, and he's basically senile. So he's like, happens to us all at some point. Hate to see it. All right, see you later. Like, what?
I'm into that. There's literally blood covering the walls. The fucking axe is like halfway out the grandpa's back. He's like half his face is half burned off and shit. He's like, sure, he wasn't sick.
You're not gonna investigate this? What's there to investigate? It looks pretty clear cut to me. Heart attack. That's how everybody dies in this town. He just chops up every death to just heart attack because it's an old person town.
he's just so old he doesn't give it. He's just so old and so stupid he just doesn't give a shit. Okay, I'm into that. Sheriff who doesn't give a shit and thinks every death is a heart attack. I'm into it.
And he only really shows up there. I want him to show up at the end after the final battle, and then being like, I think something must have happened here.
Yeah, this one looks like post-credit scene. Someone's walking down the street, has a heart attack, dies. He walks in like, who murdered this man?
I'll get you, son of a bitch. Alright.
To believe...
So, I think we got enough stuff that we can start just getting that outline started of events that are going to happen. Like,
yes.
Crank them up.
Super Ribs wants a cheerleader character. I'm into it.
A cheerleader character?
Cheerleader, yeah, for some reason. What if, like... We have this like the complete stereotypical cheerleader who Gabe is completely in love with.
Oh my! It's Viper's daughter.
Yes, that's a fan. I was trying to think of some twist to add onto it. That's perfect. Cheerleader. Give me a girl's name.
Jessica.
Jessica. Sure, Jessica.
That sounds cheerleader-y, does it not?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Jessica Viper.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Michael Bay movie now.
Oh yeah, Jessica Viper. Oh god, it's like if Michael Bay fucking did a shitload of acid and tried to make a movie. And Viper's daughter. Okay, it's like Viper's daughter. Okay, so yeah, we've got to get the actual outline going. I kind of have it here with the inciting incident, and then like scene here of him going to Myrtle, who reluctantly agrees. Viper going to homeless Billy. Myrtle's very
Vicky Viper. Oh, that's a good name.
Vicky Viper. Ooh, yeah, that's even better. God damn it, Vicky Viper. That sounds.
Well, then now we got to change Viper's name to Victor Viper. Do we not?
God damn it, you're right. We do. Fucking not Joe Viper, Victor Viper.
Victor Viper.
If that isn't
do you have any idea who I am? And they're just like, yeah, you're the mayor.
Yeah, you're the mayor.
I voted for you actually last term. And he's like, oh, cool. Glad to see a supporter.
He's like, oh, I wouldn't say it's support. It's just like I didn't actually follow anything, and I didn't like the last.
Yeah, and they're also the only candidate because no one wants to be the mayor of this town.
They're the only candidate. Okay, so how do we open this movie? How do we open this?
I don't even know.
I feel like we'd have to start with the villain. When in doubt for an intro, start with the villain. Opening. He's doing some real degenerate shit to try to get the stones. Matter stone, some potato jam, the whipping rock, the quarry rock.
What if we introduce him like in like his shop, pounding metal and heat and stuff, and then Vicky Viper walks in and is like, "Daddy, almost ready. You gotta take me to school." And he's just like, "The deed is done." And you see he's built his fucking like Ringa gauntlet thing, and it's like super epic and shit. And just hard cuts to like him in a Porsche driving Vicky to school,
still wearing it.
Yeah. And she's like, "That's a really weird bracelet that like you made." And then he was like, "Oh, daughter, someday you'll or he's like, soon you'll understand the power that this bracelet holds." She's like, "Yeah, you've been kind of weird lately." And like, dude, we keep framing the fact that he's so weird about the gems over the fact that he's recently divorced with Vicky's mom.
Oh.
Whenever he's like weirdly passionate about the gems, she's like, "Is this about like the divorce? Like, are you okay?" He's like, "It's got to do nothing with your mother, okay? The gems, it's like a whole different thing, all right?"
Like, and at one point, Vicky has to just like mention, man, Dale isn't this weird. He's like, "Who's Dale? Mom's new boyfriend." What? I must win her back with using the power of the Eternity Gems. Like, you probably lost her because Dale doesn't talk like that. it's like
I guess we got Jesse Eisenberg's our character, so I guess they're going. He's dropping her off at the college, the community college there.
Yeah. We got to make all legal adults here
because we're gonna be murdered.
Yes, there's gonna be a lot of murder. We don't want to have any child murder here. School right, and then introduction of fucking Gabe. How do we introduce Gabe?
I think that we follow Vicky going into the school. She goes to her locker and talks to her friends, and then we do that fucking old 2000s like zoom past her to Gabe at his locker, looking, being
yeah,
she's so pretty, whatever.
Oh, she asked me.
And then I would love if he was just like, she'd never talk to me though, and then like some random dude is just like, "I don't know who you are." Like the guy's inside of the locker. Stop trying to talk to me, please. Like. She looks like a homie, but it's just like some dude is like, "Why are you talking to me? I don't know you."
Okay, I'm into that. And then introduce Gabe as.
I kind of like the idea of our two main characters being super unlikable. Like I like the idea of Gabe just being like a oh, I'm such a nice guy, and she's not like that into me. And it's like, no, you're weird. You don't shower, Gabe. Like,
Yeah, maybe she would like you if you didn't wear the same hoodie for 3 weeks in a row, buddy. Oh god, I'm thinking of some. Okay, so I do that, and then I feel like it would literally be later that day. He would go home to the Tarantino murder scene of his grandpa.
yes, it would be, but I feel like something needs to happen at like the school first. Maybe a little bit of Gabe character building in some way.
Okay,
Like
so
maybe
we gotta have her save the cat
or
moment.
maybe he needs to, builds the courage to ask her out or something like that.
Okay, I'm into that. And he thinks up some super extravagant way to ask her out that just makes her super uncomfortable, and it's really weird, and like puts her in an uncomfortable position in front of like everyone, like the entire cafeteria.
Oh my god!
It's just one of those like,
jeez.
it's like one of those public proposal things. Like, will you go out with me? It's like, I don't know you. You're gay,
Yeah,
right?
she's just like, who are you? She's like, do we have like a class together? Like, I'm sorry.
Okay,
She's
so-
like nice about it, but like he's like just coming in way too strong.
Okay, and I feel like that would be a good introduction, is him trying to do that proposal type thing, and he's trying to rally everyone around him, of like, okay, I gotta get the AV club to put the video up on the screen where she's gonna be. I gotta have for the band kids come in and play the music at the right time, so he's gotta like go around to the AV club, to the band kids, to the fucking acapella group, he's gotta get people involved in it, but he's just being such a dick to them the entire time. That would be a good introduction
nobody
to
wants
him.
to help him.
Yeah, that would be the introduction. It would be the goal that he has, and then he succeeds by working, but then she doesn't.
Asks her out in a really extravagant way, but it has no help at all.
Yeah, she's still so dumb.
And he's like, well, there should have been an acapella and like a whole video playing. She's like, what? You would have had a, huh? But I like the idea of her being like, okay, you seem nice, but I'm just not interested. I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to be rude. Like, it's like I like her as like a very grounded person who's just surrounded by these toxic, over the top men.
Yes. Okay, I'm into that. So it was Crush, but Vicky rejects him.
In a nice way, not like trying to save the embarrassment of it.
Yes.
But you truly cannot.
Yeah. Like, you shouldn't ask people out in public like this, because it feels like you're coercing me into saying yes. Like, if I say no in front of all these people, I'm gonna look like a bitch. And if I say yes, I'm just gonna feel worse because I'm gonna have to say no later. And it's
Yeah, but she's not gonna awkwardly say no. She's gonna be like, no. Or she's not gonna awkwardly say yes. She's gonna be like, no, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You shouldn't have done this.
That's weird. So that already gives him a little bit of like, maybe need to prove himself, or like kind of a little bit of like he just had a big thing that pissed him off.
I'm sorry, I just had an idea. He's gonna be like, after this happens, he's gonna be walking home like, man, how can this day get any worse? Hey, Grandpa, you wouldn't believe what happened today. He opens the door, chainsaw fight, axe murder, fucking the Tarantino. He just walks into the Tarantino scene. Just massively violent. His grandpa's just like using a chainsaw and just mowing down the mayor's henchmen for some. It's like, what the fuck, Grandpa? How can this day get any worse? Oh my god!
I love that. And then he's like, you little shit. Just like immediately, he's like, are you gonna help me or what? He's like, what do you want me to do? You're chainsaw fighting him. He's like, I don't know, pick up something. And then I love the idea of like the grandpa's like, you gotta help me out, you little fucker, like you do it. And then like he picks up like a baseball bat or something, and then just runs in and just gets fucking punched in the face by a henchman immediately and just dropped. And then the grandpa like looks over at him, Fong. He's like, motherfucker. He's like, you can't do shit.
No, like what if that's the grandpa's last moment? He looks over at Gabe. He's like, you're fucking useless. Axe to the neck. fucking like starts dying. Like that's when he starts to lose.
This is a personal request. I want him to take off his belt like he's gonna whip. But did you remember in the second Kingsman when with all of the whip scenes with
Yeah,
like
oh,
he basically
God.
has that shit going on with his belt where he's belting them all.
The Passion Stone gives the power to the belt to just
It's
whip
like
guys in the
throwing
air.
the belt, it wraps around his neck, he catches it with the other one, he's like taking
I'm into
down.
it. I'm
This
into
grandpa is just awesome.
it. Okay, so he starts doing that. Then the whole fucking he starts dying. Viper gets the Passion Stone. At the whole time, Gabe's like, Mayor Viper, what the fuck are you? What's going on? And then he has his Thanos monologue and walks away, just leaving him alive for absolutely no reason.
He's like, you don't understand the power these stones hold. And I'm sorry that you've been caught in the crossfire, but it's truly not personal. You're just a casualty. And then fucking kills his grandpa. And he's like, what's happening to me? I do kind of like this character being like, I don't want this to happen. I'm having such a bad day. Please.
Okay, and then basically immediately after that, so I feel like the first call he would make is to the sheriff, to the police. But just the sheriff shows up, and that'll be the introduction of the sheriff. Just being absolutely useless. Because there's weapons lying around, there's blood everywhere, there's dead henchmen. He's like, man, a lot of heart attacks here today.
Group heart attack, you don't see that very often.
I know. Does someone
like,
coming to
what?
startle these fellas? Because that can happen. These guys watching one of them scary movies.
No. I know me and Darlene back at home, we start putting on a scary movie up. My heart barely almost bumps out its chest, you know what I mean? And he's like, what are you talking about? People have died here. There is stab wounds. My grandpa's head is off his fucking body. He's like, that's weird. I didn't know that was a symptom. He pulls out his notepad. He's like, I'm gonna write that down.
Right? You know, I have a red steak every once in a while, like a nice rare steak. I gotta stop doing that. The old ticker ain't doing so well. I don't want to get decapitated.
He's like trying to like relate to the kid about like how he's getting older, and the kid's like, come on, man.
I'm into that. Okay, so then, so then I feel like Gabe would he go to Myrtle next? Would Gabe go to Myrtle next?
I think that he would tell the sheriff about the stones. He's like, he's after some stones. I don't know, Mayor Viper, and he's like, that's weird. Mayor Viper's a good man. He's like, but I don't. He's like, but if you're talking about stones, the only stone I could think of is good old Rocky the Blue Rock. And then the kid's like, Rocky the Blue Rock, what? And then the sheriff's like, you don't know Rocky the Blue Rock?
So then that leads him to go to Myrtle. Okay, I'm into that.
And the sheriff's like, oh, Rocky's always been a part of this town. I even had him show up for my wedding, actually. We had Rocky the Blue Rock up. And then the dude's like, what the fuck is this town?
We even had Rocky the Blue Rock performing a little song for us at the wedding. Flashback to just everyone dancing, and there's a rock in front of a microphone.
What? We have
just complete silence. Everyone's dancing.
We have one cutaway for no reason, just in the middle of the film.
Hey, Sheriff, remember the time Rocky the Blue Rock performed at your wedding? Just Peter Griffin as one of the fucking deputies for no reason. Sheriff, remember the time?
Oh, God. Just he says it like the deputy, and then the sheriff just goes, I don't remember that. And it's just like, for a second, he's like, okay, well, let's move on. These are heart attacks. It's good.
Yeah, okay, so then Gabe goes to Myrtle?
Yeah,
and
so
we have that whole scene.
If he wants to know about Rocky, he's got to talk to Myrtle. She's the one that watches over him.
Yes, so then Gabe goes to Myrtle. We have the whole Myrtle introduction. She's going to start helping him scene. Mm-hmm. And then we have the Viper going to homeless Billy, who gives Viper the Matter Stone thing.
So I think Myrtle can be the exposition dump of the rocks being, back long ago, there was an ancient rumor that there's these spirit rocks that have landed in this area, or that Merlin spread his rocks to this area, something like that. And he's just like, what the hell, is any of it true? And she's like, well, I don't know, I've only seen one rock.
Yeah.
And she's like, and honestly, she's like, do you know how many different color of rocks there are in the world? Like, she's like, Rocky is cool because he's like bright blue, but you can really find this anywhere. Like, it's not that unique.
All right. I mean, that's so
that
would be
exposition dump, and it's like, damn, what the fuck? And then, but she immediately is like, Nah, it's just the. And then she's like, if you want to know my opinion, I think it's because the mayor's been having marital problems. If you know what I mean. And then the kid's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, you didn't hear about the divorce? And the kid's like, he just murdered my grandpa. I don't
care about that. He got a divorce. He's a fucking murderer.
Yeah. And I want every character to bring up the fact that he just got divorced. Like, so everyone's just this dude who's like in the middle of Thanos monologue is like, it's not about fucking Stephanie, okay? I'm past that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so then so I feel like for the next little part we need to have Gabe scene, Viper scene, Gabe scene, Viper scene. So
I think that he goes to Myrtle to talk. Myrtle dumps the exposition. Then we cut to Gabe pursuing the Tater Stone.
Okay.
Which is it's like he like marches in. We kind of get like a flash of like all that O'Brien's got going on with his farm and stuff. Brian talks about his farm, and then I'm like nice and simple. Viper's like, I need that stone from you, Cletus, and I'm gonna get it one way or another. Cletus is like, yeah, you can take it. And he's like, what, really? He's like, well, Cletus is like, I know you've been going through some tough stuff with the Lash, so he's like, why is everybody talking about that today? It's not about that.
Yeah. Okay, so we have
Cletus is like supportive and like is like, you know, he's like, you helped me out, and Cletus obviously has probably brought money to the fucking town because he's the big potato farmer.
Yeah.
So he's got a little bit of ends. He's homies with the mayor. It's kind of like a friendly here's your stone thing. A little bit of character development for Cletus and what's his name? Victor. Victor Viper. I don't know where we go from there though. So we got the inciting incident. We're into the second act where he's gathering the stones.
Yes.
I feel like the gathering the stones scene. Is there a way to make that interesting?
So
they need to have a confrontation with one of the stones, right?
Yes. You have some kind of confrontation. Viper and Tater Stone, that stone. So they need to have something, because Rocky the Blue Rock would be the last one that he needs, right?
Yes.
So he needs to come from Myrtle. So maybe Viper needs to know that Myrtle is there. He needs to know that Myrtle is wherever she is. And then basically just like a big raid on wherever they are.
Oh my god, like an over the top like fucking John Wick 3 raid of the museum.
Oh god. That works though. That works. That completely works.
So are we gonna make Gabe a bitch and just make all of the old people fucking badass as shit?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so Viper and his henchmen begin a massive raid on the museum.
So I think that should be sort of third act-ish.
Yes.
I think that Viper should get the other stones first. So what does he have? He has the Whipping Stone, the Tater Stone.
Yep, the Tater Stone, and then he just needs the Tater Stone, the Matter Stone, and Passion Stone. We don't have the Passion Stone yet. Do we? No, we don't have the Death Stone.
So we can have a scene about what am I thinking? Oh, of his henchmen coming to take the Rocky the Blue Rock from Myrtle, and like Myrtle's like, oh, you're not getting Rocky, sweetheart. Like, nice try, but that's fine. And then they're like, no, we're gonna take Rocky, and then Myrtle like fucking shot like double barrels one of them back into a door, and they're like, Jesus Christ. And Myrtle's like, I just said that no one's taking Rocky from me. And then it's like it like sets up like Gabe is like, what the fuck is happening to me? And Myrtle's like, they'll be coming here, trust me, we need to be prepared. And then he's like, what? I just want to stop this guy who killed my grandpa.
I'm into it. Okay. So you see the gap that I'm looking at here. It's like, you go to Myrtle, and then we have we have Viper getting the Tater Stone, a gap here. Viper getting the Matter Stone, and then we're going to have another gap there of starting with the Viper and his henchmen beginning the raid. Mm-hmm. So we need to have something here of Gabe and everyone doing.
I think that We could maybe have that initial henchman scene where it shows that he's gonna send he sent some henchmen to get it nicely, but Myrtle doesn't play nicely, so it's like that could be like a setup scene where they're like they realize they have to gear up and stuff and get ready for the raid.
Okay.
Possibly.
Okay, game team getting ready for that raid. Okay.
Actually, I think that we make him getting the last stone. I don't think we make this the last stone. We make him getting a different stone the last stone. So he gets the stone, and then Gabe chases him to stop him from getting the last stone. But then that's where they have their final duel.
Okay, so you want Rocket Blue Ark to be the second to last one. Okay.
Yes.
Which works out. So it's the Quarry Rock.
Yes. So they meet in the quarry to fight.
Okay, so they get the Rocket Blue Rock and gives it over willingly. Teams race to the quarry to get the Quarry Rock. Leading to the final showdown. So are we going from the raid on the museum being the final fight, or no? That's like in the middle.
Yeah, that's basically that's the
midpoint twist.
You remember in Infinity War? That's like the Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Spider-Man fight. Is that scene?
Okay.
And then the battle at Wakanda is the
quarry. Is our quarry.
That's the quarry fight in terms of pacing.
Okay. All right. So we need the teams to be split up in that case. So, or do they just follow them to go into the quarry?
He doesn't really have a team. Nobody has agreed. Like, no one believes that he's actually helping all like that stuff. We're just kind of going to see Myrtle and him get, Myrtle basically go John Wick on an entire raid on the museum, where she's like picking up like old weapons and shit to fight them.
Okay.
It's kind of what I like. I feel like the actual team thing is kind of we're getting away from that because there's not enough characters for him to build an actual team with. That's
true, and we are starting to run a little long on time, but yeah.
Exactly. So we're gonna try and we
gotta wrap things up. We gotta wrap things up. Give it up willingly. Teams in a race to the quarry. We're gonna get the Quarry Rock, leading to the final showdown.
Not even a team. It's literally just Gabe at this point.
Oh yeah, at this point it is just Gabe. So Gabe races to the Quarry Rock, leading to the final showdown.
And then basically Myrtle says, well, he's probably going to the quarry to get the Quarry Rock then, considering he had the other ones. So then Gabe rushes there. We're not going to get to explain it very much, but it would be him finally getting the Quarry Rock and putting it on, and then instead of like surging through him, he just puts it on and like looks at it. And then the dude's like,
dope.
Gabe's like, did it do anything? He's like, not yet. And he's like, you just killed my grandpa for like no reason. And he's like, well, I mean, he was old. He did. And then they're just like kind of talking. And then boom, flash of lightning, he turns into a master mage.
He's like, what if this wasn't actually anything? What if I just like killed all these people and they literally just
no, dude, he's like, oh. He takes one out, the other one, then switches their spot, and then flash of lightning, but get it in the wrong slots.
I'm into that. That turns the antagonist into a dark fucking wizard.
The Archmage of Destruction.
Archmage of Destruction, hell yeah.
And he was wearing Merlin's gauntlet.
And so we have to we have to rip off Infinity War. It ends on a downer, right?
It will, but after that the ground starts shaking in the quarry, and from the bottom of the quarry emerges King Arthur's sword stuck in stone. And it says, Gabe, take your place as an Arthurian and wield Excalibur. And he's just like, all right.
Okay, I guess I'm in a fucking fantasy movie now. Whatever. And then they go and... Okay, I'm into it.
And then he pulls the sword out. It just becomes 12 times as jacked. Super big, crazy
it's like, it's completely random. Did you ever see Fairly Odd Parents? The King Arthur story? where just like King Arthur is like this short little kid. He's like, guys, I broke my glasses, and then like he gets his glasses back on, his glasses fixed or whatever. I can see, I can fight, and then he just like rips his shirt off completely. So basically, that's what's happening with Jesse Eisenberg here. He's just gonna be like, okay, whatever. He picks up the sword, just like gets jacked up for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
I'm into
Super crazy, horrible CGI. They have an intense duel.
It's the worst CGI. No, like not even like bad CGI. They just fucking get some jacked dude and then like track just like a still image of Jesse Eisenberg's face going over.
We ran out of budget on the John Wick scene.
We used all the budget. We used all the CGI budget on the Merlin Gauntlet. Really, we ran out of budget at this point. Earth and the two fight.
So it ends with Jesse Eisenberg, King Arthur, fucking cleaving his sword into half of the mage, and being like, "You may have killed my grandpa, but I'm gonna kill you," or some shit like that. And then you just hear like the mage laughing, and then what he cleaved into was like kind of like dissipates, and it was like a mimic, and then just the hand of the mage comes right through his chest with the gauntlet, like magic coming through it, and he stabs Jesse Eisenberg through the chest. And then yes, King Arthur, Jesse Arthurberg, Gabe Arthur has been penetrated through the chest by the magic hand and is dying. And the Archmage drops him and says, I truly will rule the world now without fear of being defeated or something like that. He was like, you are humanity's last chance and you failed. He's like, you know, and then he leaves, and like that's the sad note. But obviously, after credit scene, maybe King Arthur's not dead yet.
Okay. A slight alteration. What if instead of going for world domination, like taking over the world and shit, all Viper wants to do is like fix all the town's potholes? Now, he just wants the most mundane thing that a mayor can want for the town. Should we pull that kind of twist at the end? It's just like,
I would love that.
You would love that?
Dude, he's just like holding him up, like dying, and he's like, Gabe Arthur dying, and he's like, now that I've defeated you and I have the power, I will fix all of the potholes in the town. And he's like, wait, what? What? Wait, what? He's like, yeah, dude, them shits are annoying, and construction's never on board to do them, so I'm just going to do them. And he's like,
that's all you wanted this whole time? You killed like 18 fucking people?
What are you gonna do
fix
after?
the potholes?
He's like, I don't know, like,
get a cheeseburger? I don't know.
Maybe. Like,
are you hungry?
Use the gauntlet anymore?
He's like stabbing. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing after this. Are you hungry?
He's like, well, I'm dying, and he's like, oh yeah, I don't know how to fix that. Sorry, but
evil mage powers only really help with civil engineering.
He's like, yep, good fight, and you know, better luck next time. Drops him.
And I think that's the ending.
Yep, the sad ending. But we reveal in the very end that King Arthur will return. As the after credits scene shows a lying King Arthur goes down his body, you see his hand with the dropped sword of Excalibur twitch and then grab onto Excalibur as the film cuts to black.
Of course. And okay, the last thing we ended when we tried to do this podcast the first time, we ended with this. And Super was asking about it earlier, the title. That's normally something I think that's something we got to do at the end, because like we can't title it and maybe we could do that. Actually, that could be a wild card, like titling a movie something now or some shit.
We've done that before, where we title it at the beginning, but we need to.
Yeah. Okay. So what do we title this one now? We gotta have a name for it. It's Small Town. What if we just title it Game of Thrones?
I hate that so much.
Game of Thrones: The Tale of King Arthur.
Gabe v Viper.
Game of Thrones: Rise of Viper Merlin.
Eternity Battle. Gabe Vengers Eternity Battle. You need to
Infinity Gabe.
The Infinity Gabe. Oh god. I think why don't we go with a one-word title that's really misleading? You know, like shit like dirt. or like blood. Like it's got has a one-word title that just doesn't summarize anything, but like it kind of relates, you know.
Okay, water.
Taters.
Taters. That actually works. That actually really worked. Tater with a Z. With a Z. With a Z on the end for absolutely no reason.
Tainted taters? No, I think
Tainted
just taters.
Taterstone? What if that's the name of the town? Welcome to Taterstown?
Trouble in Taterstone.
Yes, there it is. Trouble in Taterstone. This certainly is Trouble in Taterstone. Fuck.
Oh my god. I can't believe how genuine and good of a nice little cult comedy we have.
I know, our nice little cult comedy that ends with all the town's potholes being fixed after the fucking evil mage plot twist.
The evil archmage versus King Arthur plot twist that happens.
Shit. Okay, I think we got it. I think that was a solid first. First attempt.
That's a great episode. If anyone is interested in directing Trouble in Taterstone, go ahead. We are looking for about 30% kickback each.
Yeah, each. Yeah, so that's 60%
for the film.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's fair. Yeah. So
totally fair. I mean, with such an original script, it's such a well thought out script too. You know, it works.
There's no holes. Everything is well thought out. Every scene.
Everything has meaning. That's the thing. Creating meaningful storytelling. That's what we're doing here. We're just telling what's coming from the heart.
None of our characters are one dimensional at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Got so much depth.
Okay, so yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the first episode of Writing with Dice. This is about how I expect things to go from now. I expect things to go from now, and some kind of weird variation of this.
Absolutely crazy. It's gonna make no sense.
Absolutely.
But think about it. We had a beginning, middle, and an end, and we had characters. So that's what storytelling's all about.
That is the very basics of a movie. Every movie you've ever watched has those things, so we're good enough.
Yeah, and we put celebrities in it too, so people are going to come watch it. Come on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you for watching, everyone. We are going to record a small post show, which we're going to put on the Patreon. I'm not quite sure how it works, but there will be a post show put on Patreon, and this podcast will probably be put up on YouTube probably this weekend. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.